All right. I know many of you are interested in Eli Lilly stock, and one of the reasons for that is because I've had it rated as one of the best stocks to buy this year. And so the company reported quarterly financial results, and I wanted to provide a little more detail on what's going on with Eli Lilly stock, according to the management team and what they said about the performance in the recent quarter. So let's dig into the details.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So the biggest thing that came out of Eli Lilly's most recent quarterly financial performance was trial results for the oral version of its weight loss treatment. The company said they shared positive top-line data from the orforglipron trial in people with obesity, and I'm sorry about the enunciation of these drug treatments. It's difficult for me to keep up with all the different names, and I don't understand why they choose these kinds of names all the time. It's never a simple name to pronounce with these treatments. So patients taking the highest dose of this weight loss treatment lost more than 27 pounds or 12.4% of their body weight. Now, that's an impressive result. And if patients had to choose between this treatment and no treatment at all, I think many patients will choose this treatment. However, the reason why the stock price fell by roughly 15% following the announcement of these results is because investors were expecting something better, and also because there's competition. There's competition from existing treatments, injection form. There's competition from newly developed treatments, right? Novo Nordisk is likely to gain approval of a treatment that's coming out later this year or perhaps early next year. And then Viking Therapeutics is working on a treatment as well. So it's not just this treatment by itself in a world with no other treatments. It's this treatment in a world with competition. And for that reason, investors were a little disappointed with these results because remember, management team has been telling investors or hinting to investors that the results could have been around 15% or more of weight loss or body weight loss on these treatments. So the safety and tolerability was consistent with the injectable GLP-1 class. So in that case, it's even on par with the injectable versions. But their goal from the beginning was to create something that was consistent with the approved GLP-1 treatments while offering the convenience of a once daily pill and production flexibility of small molecule chemistry to meet global demand. And I think that's the biggest selling point here is that, for one, it's going to be a lot easier to manufacture and transport. That's going to create scale efficiencies. It's going to create the ability to lower the price of these treatments and open a bigger market because of the lower price, because of the ease of manufacture. That's one of the biggest benefits. And then on the other side, the consumer side, it's a lot more convenient to take an oral treatment, a pill, rather than an injectable. It's a lot easier to do. And so that's going to open up a lot of new customers that may have been hesitant to do the injectable, but they would be willing to do the pill. So you have two market unlocks going on here. You got one unlock from the easier manufacturing capability and transportation capability. And then you have the unlock from the consumer side with the pill instead of injectable. You certainly have some people that would not be willing to do an injectable, but would be willing to do the daily pill. So that's going to create an opening for a bigger market, even if there's competition that comes in from Novo and Viking Therapeutics that takes some more of that market share. But the overall size of the pie will increase when these companies get to eventually getting approval of these pills and manufacturing them at large scale. So this document I'm reading from is Eli Lilly's recent earnings call transcript with Wall Street Analyst. This highlighted document I made available for my channel members. You can see this in your membership benefits section of my YouTube channel. If you're not already a member, see the description where I have the link posted where you can learn about all the member benefits. And this is just one of my many, many member benefits. And you can join for less than $5 a month. We would love to have you join us. In the most recent quarter, actual revenue performance increased by 38% compared to last year. And these were great results. In fact, the results were so good that the company upgraded their expectations for the rest of this year on both the top and bottom line. But those positive results were overshadowed by the disappointment from the results from the oral pill. But if you just look at the actual performance of what they have right now, it was a great quarter. It's been a great first half of the year as Eli Lilly continues to gain market share. As the management says here, in the U.S., we continue the robust uptake of Zepbound and Mounjaro, and Lilly gained market share in the certain analog class for the fourth quarter in a row. So they keep gaining market share in this industry. Additionally, they continue to launch new products, new countries and new products as well. But these new countries include Mexico and Brazil most recently. These are large markets, pardon the pun, and they have now launched Mounjaro in most major markets. So these weight loss treatments are now going out into Mexico and Brazil. Large populations, the numbers, there's a large number of people that live in this region. And so that's a market opportunity now to take intake of that as they increase the manufacturing capability. Management said that by the end of this year, they will have 80% more capacity to produce these treatments than they did last year. 80% more increase in manufacturing. And that's going to be big for them. That's going to be huge for them because they can now continue lowering the price and capture efficiencies and scale. And with the lower price, they can gain more favorability from regulators, right? One of the things regulators have been pushing lately, especially in the United States, is the cost of these treatments. They argue that it's too expensive, and that's why they're not really enforcing the removal of compounders selling lower priced versions in the United States. Well, if Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk can sell these treatments at much lower prices, maybe regulators will feel more strongly about enforcing their patents and not allowing those compounders to sell the lower priced versions. Right now, because of the high price and the limited availability, regulators don't want to be the ones to say, hey, these great treatments that compounders are selling at lower prices, we're not going to allow that. We want you to go and pay higher prices for the branded versions. That would not be a popular thing among consumers here in the United States. So regulators are hesitant to do that. But regulators also have to balance that with the patent protection and the investments in research and development. If companies, pharmaceuticals, don't feel confident that their products will gain exclusivity, will have that patent protection, they won't invest in so much research and development to create these new treatments because they have to downgrade the expectations of how much revenue and profit they will earn from these treatments. So it's a kind of difficult situation here for governments that want to encourage these companies to develop new treatments, but at the same time, they want them to offer these treatments to customers at lower prices so that they're more accessible. But if these pharmaceuticals have to sell these products at lower prices, it disincentivizes them from making those investments, right? You don't feel like spending all of the money to create these products if there isn't a huge reward for doing so. If the reward is smaller, your investment is going to be smaller. And so that's like something that's really difficult for governments worldwide to manage with healthcare companies and especially with pharmaceuticals. How do you balance that? How do you balance incentivizing these companies to make big investments to create these exciting treatments that cure many, many difficult diseases, but at the same time, giving these treatments to customers at low enough prices that makes them accessible to a large enough amount of people that helps the countries worldwide? It's a difficult situation. I understand it's not very popular, but in my opinion, I think worldwide populations, humanity will benefit if companies like Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk are given protections, patent protections for the treatments that they create. Because then they will create these treatments, they'll invest significantly to create these treatments, and eventually they will reach broad populations. The patent protections are not infinite, they last a certain amount of years. So sure, in the initial stages, it might be very expensive and not accessible, but over time, they could become more accessible. And it's either that or not getting these treatments at all if you don't give these companies the protection to invest in creating these treatments. Just my opinion here. So, Eli Lilly, great results so far for the year, upgrading their forecast, upgrading revenue and profitability, but the results from the pill for weight loss overshadowed the positive results for existing treatments. Hey everyone, I'm excited to announce that my book is finally available for sale. I've been working on it for more than a year now, so I'm really excited to finally share this with you now. It goes through my framework for evaluating stocks. Some of you often ask why I like this stock or why I like the other stock, and this framework provides you the things that I look at when I'm evaluating stocks. I've added the link in the description below.